I'm Jeanette from Growth Unlimited, and today we're going to talk about recognizing and changing self-defeating behavior. You know, over the last, almost a year now, I have noticed that there's been lots and lots of pressure increasing because of the pandemic and all the associated things that were going on in our world. Whatever country you live in, it has been a real challenge for everybody. Whether it was an economic challenge, whether it was a political challenge, whether it was just the pandemic itself, it's been a difficult thing for all of us to work through. One of the things that happens when we're having difficulty in our lives is we end up engaging in some of what I like to call self-defeating behaviors. And we're going to talk about a few of those today that I am noticing have cropped up for me in some senses. And also I'm noticing that many of the people that I come into contact with, either as clients or as friends or just people on the street, I'm seeing a lot of these kinds of behaviors. And so let's talk a little bit about them and talk about why we want to get rid of them and get some ideas of how to go about doing that. Let's get started. Okay, first of all, common self-defeating behaviors that appear to be more and more prevalent as time goes on are things like stubbornness, always needing to be right. And if you know of somebody who never is wrong and is constantly running over you with what their opinions are and what their choices are and expecting you to follow through on what they say, you're dealing with somebody who is this way. If you find yourself feeling frustrated because you can't get people to do what you want them to do, then maybe you're dealing with the same problem. Secondly, people-pleasing, especially when people are trying to please other people at the cost of their own health and their own happiness. It's fine to be nice to someone, but if you spend your life trying to figure out what you can do so you can get somebody else's approval, or you can get somebody to like you or do something for you, you're engaging in this process of people pleasing. And these are the kinds of things that are destructive to you, because if you spend so much time focusing on that, you're not focusing on the time you need to focus on to take care of the things that you do need to take care of. Obsessing about perfection is a third one. This is one that I struggle with on occasion. I want to be perfect, and I'm willing to put the work in to make it happen. But the thing is, if I obsess to the point that all I'm doing is worrying about being perfect, I never get anything done. Okay, the next one, blaming, and having the inability to accept responsibility for your own mistakes. This includes the kinds of behavior that we have seen across the board with our politicians in the United States. The blaming, the name-calling, the childish interactions between the politicians. Everyone I've talked to has been dismayed or frustrated with the behavior of the people that we thought were our leaders. And yet, it's something that happens all the time. One of the things that I have noticed is that I have to be really careful, because while I don't actually call people names and I try to take responsibility for what I do find myself at times tending to feel like it isn't my fault and that I'm being controlled by somebody else, and that works into blaming someone else for what is going on. And I have to constantly be on my guard to make sure that I don't. And it seems to happen more often the more stressed I am. Okay, the next one is procrastination. Do you have trouble getting the stuff done that you need to get done? I have a friend who makes lists of everything he does every single day. And he has been complaining over the last month of just never seeming to be able to get the list completed, even when he figured he should be able to. And one of the things that's happening to him, I think, is he's struggling because he puts it on the list and then he feels overwhelmed. And I think that's an extension of the total overwhelm that everyone is feeling with the situation that we're currently living in. So we need to be very careful to be on our guard about procrastination and avoid getting caught in the process of putting things off when they need to get done. Okay, the next one is the inability to ask or the refusal to ask for help when you need it. There's nothing wrong with needing help. And if you will not ask for help when you need it, what it does is place more pressure on you, and then in turn more pressure on the people around you, because the things that you need help with are not getting done. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Now, conversely, if you're constantly looking for somebody else to do it for you, that's not asking for help. And so if it is a situation where you need help, take responsibility for what you're doing and ask for the help that you need, but don't try to pass it off on somebody else to do it for you. Okay, and this is a big one. People are afraid. They're afraid to take any kind of risk. They're feeling so bruised and battered by what's gone on over the last year that they're turning away opportunities that could be the answer to the problems that they're looking at. If you find yourself automatically turning something down because it feels a little bit uncertain, take a second look. Really get into it, find out what it is you're turning down before you turn it down. And the next one is negative self-talk. Talking about how you're a bad person, or you can't be successful, or you never do anything right. This is something that's on the rise too. And this is one of the things that can cause problems with your behavior, because it causes problems with the outcome of your life. And then the last one, and this is one that I see with people who are really feeling beaten down, feeling very guilty about choices that they have made, and feeling undeserving of the good things in life. Now, there are several things that you can do to start breaking the cycle of self-defeating behavior, whatever cycle it is that you're involved in. First of all, know your triggers. Be able to recognize things that make you feel sensitive and vulnerable, or a relationship that triggers you in self-defeating ways. This begins by learning what situations or relationships trigger you, and then learning that you control and allow what happens in your life, and making the choice to take that control and move forward. Then the second thing you can do is replace negative habits. If you have a negative habit, for example, if you find yourself procrastinating, earmark that, so when you see it happening, you can put a stop to it and create a new habit of getting the job done. You may do that with all of your negative habits. Your old ways won't vanish into thin air, although we might wish that they would. But you can start rebuilding healthy coping strategies in your life. You can also do this by filling your life with positive people, interactions, and environments that are rewarding, and begin to change the way that you perceive things. Through these experiences, you'll learn to build new skills that you can actively insert when you begin to feel these old habits creeping up. And then the third thing, get the mindset where you are ready to continue to grow. Practicing new skills and starting to change past behavior takes time. You need to be open to doing these things. And it's going to require patience. It's going to require understanding that you will make mistakes and that you're not perfect. Learn from the situations where you could have done differently in the past. Practice mindfulness. Stay in the moment so you can make clear-headed decisions when faced with familiar situations. And fourth, if these things are not working to the level that you want them to work to you, in order to make the changes in your life, seek out a professional's help. Find a life coach or a therapist who can help you process through these things and move forward in your life. I hope you liked this video. If you found it helpful, please subscribe and share it with your friends. I'd also love to hear what you're doing to recognize and change your self-defeating behaviors. If you're looking for a life coach, Check us out at www.growthunlimited.org. I'd love to show you how we can help you change your life and how we can help you take control. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye now.